Welcome
Welcome
to
to
Shade
Shade
and
in the City.
I'm your girl Treese.
It's Nels.
And today, y'all, we are jumping into, of course, the Ready to Love season 6 finale.
Finale.
So, y'all, oh my God, have we been talking that long? Because
That you didn't refill your drink.
no, I did not. But anyway, we just want to thank you guys for being here, Shade Squad, all our new viewers. If you haven't already, please hit that like button.
And that subscribe button.
And y'all, we got so much to tell y'all for y'all in on. We can't wait. Please look out for our review, or I should say our experience. I don't know what you call it. It's not like a vlog, but we're just going to talk about our time. We took the time yesterday to go see our boy Little Black Book on his, American tour and his DC stop. And it was a great experience. And we got to meet a lot of the cast from Ready to Love DC. And it was super dope. And we can't wait to tell you guys about it. But anyway, like I said, hit that like button.
And that subscribe button.
Let's get into it. And I'm going to go refill my glass and let's get shady. Is having his final gathering. Kayla says she's nervous because she knows Randall has a connection with Jamala and Mike has a connection with Brandy, but Kayla says she has connections with both the men. So it's complicated, she says. Now, Nels, this brings up a good point. I didn't think we'd even get into it this fast. Nels brought up a good point yesterday. So we actually had the great opportunity of meeting Camille. Shout out to Camille. And we asked her about the whole voiceover thing. And she actually said that no, it really was. And I didn't really say that in that moment. Or I said,
what she said was that they held up an iPad telling her what to talk about and what not to talk about because production will do that. And she was like, y'all gonna make me fuck y'all up when they held that up. So they took it from that moment, what she said, and used it in a different moment, is what she said happened.
And so me and Nels noticed, and we'll get into it later, but there's a moment where Kayla says this again, verbatim. And it's like, it's weird because it's not out of place, but just her repeating it. And she's not actually physically saying it. That can kind of somewhat make me believe that narrative. So I don't know. Drop in the comments. Let us know what you think, Shade Squad. But
which is kind of messed up because on the reunion, they were using this as receipts that Camille said it.
Right.
But it's really, if that's the case, that's really not legit receipts. You're like whiting out your receipts and then scribbling them in or something. Like they're not legit receipts. I'm just saying.
I don't know, y'all. I don't know, but it was great to hear Camille's side of it. Appreciate it. And we will be talking to her more later. As we say, Kayla said it's complicated. Jamala walks in and met Randall immediately. Starts to distance himself from Kayla. That's what I got. Now she feels.
I felt like he did it even before Jamala walked in. He went over to sit down with the man.
No. But Jamala was walking in when they were still at the table, and he was pouring her a drink or something like that. Remember? And she was like, "If that's for me, then I'm gonna need a little bit more champagne." Remember her saying that when?
Yeah, I do remember that.
That was why. And then she went over to the table and she said, "I went and sat down because I thought Randall was gonna sit with me." And that's when Jamala had walked in.
And he went over to the men's table.
He went over to the men's table, like, which, no, not you ain't, not today.
Not today.
Caught up. So she feels her connection with Randall is strong. She said that they've had to take this in phases because I'm talking Jamala. Strong. They've had to take this in phases because real life is happening. And there's also mental strain when you're trying to work through a relationship. And actually, she says this. Now I'm thinking about it. She said that twice too.
You know, when you just said that, I was like, how did you get that so early? Because I remember her saying that at the dinner.
No, she said that twice. I don't know, y'all. Camille might have a point. I'm just saying, this is weird. So Kayla is taken aback because she went and sat down hoping that Randall would join her at her table so they could talk. but he went to the guy's table.
Mhm.
She says he acts like he's scared. Now, Jamala comes over and kisses Randall on the cheek, and she says hello, and Brandy comes in behind her and gives Mike a kiss. Kadian comes in and says her and Swasey are not on good terms.
As per usual. What else is new?
She said after trying to talk to Swasey to plan, he over sensationalized it and made it seem like it was the worst thing in the world. Kadian asked him why they must pretend they didn't just speak 30 minutes ago. Swasey questions what she said, and she's like, you heard me. You heard what I said. She says, and then they got there and he doesn't speak to her, which was kind of weird if y'all just talked a few minutes ago, but whatever.
He mad.
And he said he's not acknowledging her presence, or she said that. But Swasey tells her she's too debatable and argumentative as hell, and he's just not talking to her. He's not even going to enter. He's not going to reward bad behavior, is what he said.
Randall over there like, yo, homeboy, she like you.
Right.
She like you. She in her feelings. She like you for real. Swasey like, yo, like it ain't supposed to be like this. Okay. You like that toxic shit, homeboy.
He's like, women with the hard exteriors got the soft inside.
Right? And he like, I ain't trying to figure that shit out.
Right.
I ain't trying to figure that shit out.
So then nephew Tommy comes in and tells them to stay in their seats. And then asks Sharice, where the hell is Samson? So she tells him last night that she gave him an opportunity to address her concerns, and unfortunately, he didn't. So she had to tell him he wasn't ready to love. Now, Sharice says when she told Samson he wasn't ready to love, it was a super hard decision. I don't think it was that hard, girl.
I don't think so either. She was just trying to be nice.
I know, but she knew if she went another day with him, it would be devastating. Then it wasn't that hard, baby. When you use words like devastating. What did it make it make truth, Sharice? She knows what she does and does not want at this point. If he can't give her what she wants, she doesn't nag, she just leaves. She gets and one thing I'm not gonna lie about, Sharice gives me, she's an older woman, and I don't mean older like shade, I mean like she's a more mature woman.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not going to put up
with the bullshit.
So when she sees it early on, but that's why I will say I'm impressed. But again, you can't say, oh, it was a tough decision when it was devastating. So, because it was devastating for you to carry on with this bullshit when you knew what it was a few weeks ago.
She didn't.
Maybe
neither did you.
The shade of it. Shade your damn self. So Sharice has decided that, you know, she gets up and tells the group to never settle, stay true to who they are, and says she's exiting the process.
First of all, I understand why she's exiting the process, right? She doesn't have any other connections. But when nephew Tommy asked if you want to stand up and say anything, I don't think he meant to give relationship advice. I think he meant like,
I was thinking the same thing.
I think he meant like to say your goodbyes. You know, like, you know,
it's been real.
Right, Katie, yeah. I'm sorry we couldn't work it out. You know, I really thought we was friends, but you know, I don't see you that way because you are too like, you know, you a backstabbing bitch, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Great point. Like, you super dope with everybody else, but I know we really ain't fuck with each other. Like,
I didn't expect her to be
saying your goodbye. But the one motherfucker who couldn't see the red flags from the beginning is the one standing up telling people to follow their heart, and your heart led you to the end, leaving with nobody.
You're an asshole.
That shit would have been fucking hilarious to me. I'd be like, why are you giving relationship advice? Now,
Kadian feels it in her spirit to want to get up and speak.
He said, I got a testimony.
Right. So nephew Tommy's like, come on to the front of the church.
Right. Come on.
To the front. So Randall says in confessional, if you've ever seen an argument without words, that's what's fun. That's what's fun. Katie I said, I'm not gonna lie to you. That is probably me when I'm mad, and I'm not saying
Let
it.
me tell you something. When Randall said that shit, I said, yo, perfect. Perfect. I love that argument with no words. That's exactly what it was.
And
I
he
loved
said
it.
he knows that whatever it is, it's gonna be upsetting. So Brandy says, let me get my popcorn because it's about to go down.
Period.
Right. So then she
And
tells
they
nephew
did.
Tommy, maybe Swasey should join me. And so Swasey is like, bitch, how did I get into this? You said you wanted to get up.
Did you even see his face when she stood up?
Yeah.
His face, he looked so blown. He was just like,
Mm-hmm. So then he comes up to the front. He says he's a little scared, but really not scared. And Kadian brings up the conversation the night before, and that how she felt she had to get defensive, and how he never wants to answer the questions. Right. So he tells her, you know, you're argumentative. Tommy asks her, well, Kadian, are you? Swasey says this is his issue. He doesn't want a woman he constantly has to reassure her and is insecure. He feels like he can't keep telling her that he sees a future. He asks how many times she wants him to say that, and he can't keep doing that. So then he says, you want me to jump on one knee tomorrow. Kadian points out that's where it usually tends to go left between them because he's not listening. Tommy says he feels it's a language barrier and there's a problem with communication. Everyone agrees. Swasey said he feels it's too early for that. That's not his wife. She's just his friend. Tommy,
I'm a huge believer in this. It shouldn't be this hard in the beginning. It shouldn't be this hard in the beginning. This is supposed to be like the honeymoon stage. Everything's supposed to be perfect.
right.
If it's this hard right now,
I don't want to do it. Yeah.
what do I have to look forward to?
Right.
So I felt him when he said that.
So Tommy says before you can get to girlfriend or wife, you must still be able to communicate. He said, we know you guys have had a great connection, but somewhere along the road, things get bumpy. Can we fix it? Swasey says we probably could. We probably could fix it, but you know what? I'm not willing to fix it.
He don't want to fix it. He said he done.
So nephew Tommy asked what she wants to do. And she's like, is that really a question right now? He already said he's done. So there's nothing else to talk about. She's done. They both agree they're leaving the process. And Swasey says in the confessional, he is upset. And he doesn't want to move forward. And he said that's normally how he moves, and it's a bad trait that he has. Now, Tommy says he expected so much more. Kadian said the overall journey was a lot. She has mixed emotions because she felt they did build a connection. She doesn't know what perfect or what perfect relationship he's looking for. But if you know it's too much for him to handle what happens when life really hits him, then she's kind of good.
And she was really hoping, she said, you know, if she was looking for reassurance ever, it was in this moment. She was hoping that, you know, he would step up to the plate and tell her, you know what, boo, go have a seat. We're gonna talk about this later.
Right, that's true.
But I mean, you did call him out in front of everybody. I mean,
you wanted to shine a light on him. I'm just saying. Brandy sits back and says, damn, I wasn't expecting that. And her and Kayla are
they're Kiki and they laughing at
right, they're like, not at all, girl. What the hell just happened?
And you saw Sharice stayed around to see it too.
Right.
I know she was laughing on the inside, like, it ain't just me, bitch.
Sharice was sitting there like, oh, I'm watching this.
Mm-hmm.
So Tommy tells him, be proud of themselves. In the land of lust, they decided to choose love. Only the strongest connections will survive. To get to that, the men will be introducing the women to their families. Mm-hmm. He tells them it's up to them to decide who they want to take this love journey with.
I know Kayla said, like, she's looking around, she's doing the math. She's like, hold up. It's 2 dudes and 3 girls. So clearly that means somebody gonna be disappointed. And she hopes it's not her. Watch this.
So Mike is sitting down with his brother Greg. Greg ain't bad looking either. Okay. He's not Mike, but he ain't bad looking either. So he tells him that he's going to be meeting Brandy, who they consider the clean girl. Okay. Now, we could go deeper with that, but I know some other YouTubers are probably going to dig into that and be like, what does that mean? And this,
He
so I'm
just
like,
meant that what he said was like it means a
she's
good
a
girl.
good girl.
She's a good girl.
Right.
He
So,
said she's down to earth. She's a good girl. You
so
know.
Randall is introducing his brother Marcus to Kayla because he says he needs his help to decide. He knows his brother is going to grow her, which he looks forward to because of his meeting with her parents. And Kayla says her and Randall aren't in the best space because he's been spending most of his time with Jamala. Now Kayla arrives and her and Randall has her sit next to his brother. Now Marcus won't bear looking either. She tells his brother that she didn't expect to be so emotionally involved. He asks what her reasoning was for feeling that way, and she talks about how she felt Randall wasn't being open about his other connection. He asked her, well, if that was your spot, how did you let somebody take it? Did I get that right?
What he said was, if that was your spot, don't you think you should try and get it back, basically?
Right.
And she was like, she did, but it was her spot to begin with, and she didn't let it go. He just moved to another spot.
I knew.
Oh, okay.
So Marcus asked Kayla if she got too comfortable.
Period.
And she's like, no. And she says that she had another connection that applied pressure, which made Randall kind of pause a bit.
Go the other way.
So she doesn't feel just because he sees someone else doing something, that means he needs to stop applying pressure. So she said they talked about it and he said he was okay. But
He
when
basically lied.
he lied. So Marcus tries to explain that he's a man. She explains
You know what I would have said? I said, oh, not an honest one though.
right. And so she explains to Marcus that this is a part of the process for them to meet other people and see how they vibe with each other. She said that's what she did, and apparently Randall didn't like that. Marcus asked her who it is that she really wanted. She says Randall because I appreciate the kind of person he is. She says she appreciates his humanity, sense of caring, his mentality. Marcus asks, but do you see yourself being with this guy? She says she can't answer that because although she believes his intentions are pure, what she doesn't know is what he's going to do about it. So then her and Randall starts to get into a little
Randall, like, that's not what he asked.
Right.
And she's like, sorry, we just went out the other day and I asked you what you wanted to do, what choice you was going to make, and you told me you didn't know. He's like, okay, still, that's not what he asked. But if that's the answer you want to give, then go ahead and give it. Either answer the question or just say you don't know. She's like, okay, well, I don't know. And he's like, okay, that's fine. She's like, I know. She was giving lots of two. She was.
Yes, she was.
She was not. She was not happy.
Then she said, basically, Randall calls her out and says, how do you feel? And she said, her feelings don't matter. I can like and love a man, but if he doesn't like or love me back, and that's why I was like, well, Kayla,
ain't shit happening.
She calls him out about how the last time they went out, he had no answers for her. And now he's pressuring her to give answers. And Randall cuts her off and says that she needs to say how she feels. And if she doesn't know, then it's okay to just say that. I was like, well, damn.
So I know she was leaving feeling that, her and Randall apparently underestimated each other's connections because they had a connection in the beginning and she felt like, I guess they both felt like it was solid. But Randall, she feels like, relied on that and felt like maybe it wasn't as solid after he saw the whole Mike situation and felt that's why he moved on to Jamala. Little do you know. You underestimated and you really didn't know what the hell was going on. But so Marcus tells Randall that, she's cool, but, it's the uncertainty for him.
Right.
And says, she just really.
She couldn't give good answers.
She really didn't have.
But Randall actually says he likes it because he got to see her flustered and he felt like he got to see her.
He liked that toxic shit. That's that DC shit in him. He liked that toxic shit. That's what it is. That's all it is. That's why he was trying to tell Swasey, she like you. She acting crazy, but she like you. You supposed to accept that crazy shit because she like you. Brandy is the first to meet Greg. You know, she's coming in feeling nervous and intimidated because she knows the brother is going to grill her. Okay. Greg immediately jumps right in, and he's grilling the shit out of her. He's like, what drew you to him? She was like, well, first of all, let me tell you, your brother looks good. Good.
At the end.
Good. look. I'm gonna emphasize good.
Yes.
Okay. And he does. So he asked about her relationship history, and she says, you know, it's been rough out here. It's been hard out here for him.
Getting money for the rent. Hey.
She says she's never had a real relationship and never been in love. So Greg asked her if there was any personal issues with her, you know, as to why, you know, she ain't never been in a real relationship. She can't come up with shit. She's pondering and pondering, and there was nothing. So she says, you know, she's not perfect, but, you know, through her experiences, the excuses has always been, it's not you, it's me. That usually means that it is something about you. So to this day, listen, I don't know her personally, but I really feel like it was her job, to be quite honest with you. They just didn't get a chance to know her, because she could have possibly been gone, and she was kind of like, you know, every few days, a week girlfriend, or the weekend girlfriend, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? There was probably someone who was more consistent in their life.
Right.
Is what I personally believe. That's neither here nor there. I don't know her. So, you know, he asked her what she feel like she can improve.
Nothing.
She's still, there's like this awkward silence. And he's like, okay, so you like Miss Perfect? And she's like, you probably think this bitch is lying, don't you? Everybody starts laughing because clearly that's what it was giving. So Greg asked Brandy, what are her expectations after the process is over with? And she says, you know, being together, she wants to be a wife, she wants to have children, have companionship, and feels like things that she prayed for are residing in this man right next to her, Mike.
Okay.
I said, look. I said, okay. She says that she's never called anybody a king, but the qualities and characteristics he's giving, it's really at the tip of her tongue. So Mike is like, well, come on, get it off the tongue and put it in my ear. She was like, you know, I think you could be a king. I think you could be my king. He's like, say it again.
Say it again.
Say it again. She's like, I think you could be my king. I don't know. They're cute to me. I like Mike.
They're cute. I
like Mike, but I like Brandy for Mike. I can't even hate. Greg tells Mike that he likes her, but his only red flag is that she ain't never been in love and she can't identify her flaws. Those are some red flags. I don't even know so much that she's never been in love, because, like I said, you know, to me, I personally believe that it was her job, but not being able to identify any flaws, it gives narcissist a little bit. Although she doesn't give that vibe, maybe she just needs to, you know, dig a little deeper. Mike is going to meet up with his brother, Greg, so they can sit down and, you know, meet up with Kayla. And he says, you know, he's a little bit more nervous about his brother meeting Kayla than he was about meeting Brandy. He says he doesn't think Kayla is looking for a regular guy because, you know, she grew up with some money. And he don't really meet that criteria. Boy, stop. We know, maybe, I don't know, maybe her family got super duper money, but stop it. So Mike orders 3 Pinot Grigios because that's what Kayla like. You know, he feels like she be on her bougie shit. He's like, you know, she introduced me to that shit. Pinot Grigio. Pinot Grigio.
You feeling real fancy.
Right.
Wait till she gets you into a Bordeaux. A bitch love a Bordeaux.
So Kayla comes in and she notices that he ordered the Pinot Grigio. I thought it was cute because it showed that he was paying attention. Right? Greg asked her to tell him, you know, a little about herself, and she said she's from Georgia. She's a Jack and Jill kid.
I don't know what that means.
So I actually tried to look it up, and I think I kind of got a little explanation, but I I don't think I really fully understood. So drop in the comments if y'all know what that means. Please explain it in layman's terms, because Google didn't do a good job. Because they said objecting to your family, not objecting to your kid. I don't know. Please, if y'all know, let us know.
Okay.
She also said she went to Howard, HU. Okay. And now she does so many things. Greg asked Kayla if she's looking for something long term. And she says, yeah, she wants a life partner, somebody she can build with and do everything with. And she's looking for someone she can build a family legacy.
She said she got a crest and everything.
She wants to create a crest to put in the foyer.
In the foyer. And they're like, oh, that's real?
They're like, foyer? What the? A foyer? So they like, oh, she bougie.
Fancy, huh? You fancy, huh?
They was like, oh, you bougie. She was like, dude, my mom was a real estate broker for 25 years. Let's not get it twisted. That is what it is. It's foyer. But I don't know why. I don't know if it's because it is that it sounds weird saying foyer. But the thing, it's weird because we know that's the correct term, right? It's foyer, but I don't know why it sounds weird, like saying it around other people. Anyways.
Say foyer?
You said what?
You don't say foyer?
I don't.
Oh, I do say foyer.
But I know it's the correct term.
I
don't know. So Marcus then asks, what value do you feel that you might add to his life that you already see is missing that he may need? I really liked that question. I don't know why. I really liked that question. I felt like it was
thought it was a super dope question.
I felt like that was a question that would take a lot of thought, because it's like, I don't know. I loved it. So, she says that she thinks Mike limits himself, and she's apparently expressed this to him. She says that, he can do so much more and feels that he can do big things. And she really wants to be able to open his eyes and show him the way. And, she says whether it's like, refined things or Pinot Grigio or even a Bordeaux, this makes the dudes like, they're like, oh, Bordeaux. They just think she is a bougie little bitch. They're just kicking it up. They love it.
And I'm not going to lie, even though I do like him and Brandy, you can tell that he genuinely kind of vibes with Kayla. Like if he hadn't, I do think the connection is stronger with Brandy, but I do genuinely think that he does kind of have.
So like if Brandy wasn't on the show, he would have picked Kayla.
Absolutely.
So Mike says that's what he loves about her. It turns him on that, she offers this, and that's something he's never had before. I'm confused. Are we just talking about the type of wine? Like you're turned on because she can introduce you to, you can go to a winery for that.
Right.
Listen, I don't know. It's like, if this is as deep as it goes for you and Kayla, to me, it's not easy to understand. Greg tells Kayla, you know what? You all right. And it was cute because they all just kind of bust out laughing. I thought it was cute. He let Kayla know.
What I'm saying. They all genuinely, she fits in. Like it's.
Yeah, she's funny. She has a good sense of humor. She, that doesn't mean she's supposed to be his wife and bear his children.
Okay.
Kayla know that, Mike is a great catch. And, he's a real solid dude. And if you're good with him, you real solid with me. So Kayla's feeling confident leaving. And, she feels like they had a lot of fun. She feels like they loved the Bordeaux thing. But, she was dead ass serious. Like, I am a bougie bitch. So it is what it is. So Mike asks Greg, what's his verdict? And, he says that he likes her too. He says when he met Brandy, he really liked her. He liked her spirit, but he likes Kayla also. And he loves the fact that she sees potential in him that he doesn't see. Mike says he normally doesn't have a hard time making decisions, but this is hard because, if it's someone that you really care about, it's tough to send them home. Now, Marcus and Randall are meeting up with Jamala. He says, you know,
This is
he's
his
been
choice.
about he's been about her since day one. And I believe it. I mean, I know Kayla said something about that they had a connection, then he moved on to Jamala. But from what I saw, but we know owns editing. Who the fuck knows? They'll, paint the narrative the way they want to. But from what I saw, anyways, it looked like he was on Jamala from day one. And who knows? He could have been on both, to be quite honest with you. So basically, and he said, but at the house, he saw some things that he ain't like, and he gonna need some counsel on it. He tells his brother that he really likes her, and that's where he really spends most of his time. But the shit that went down, he saw in his past relationships, and he ain't like it. So Jamala says that her and Randall are doing well. They've had their they had their conversation about the trip in phases, and this is what Trace was talking about. Apparently, I didn't catch that one though. I didn't catch that one. She says that they're on phase 2 because it's been a mental strain, and this is like verbatim.
Verbatim.
So Marcus and Jamala. So Marcus and Jamala, they're having a conversation, and he tells her, I heard a lot of great things about you. She's like, care to share? He's like, yeah, I don't do too much. I don't do too much talking. She's like, you sound just like your brother. You sound just like your brother. He's sounding just like DC. He's like, I ain't about to, what we not about to do. So Marcus asked her, with the whole dynamics of how everything is set up, do you feel like you can trust him? Because insecurity is a big deal and it can mess up a great thing. She says to her, insecurities is her feeling inadequate to a person despite what he's telling her. And says there's a difference when somebody's touching on a person that you care about. I feel that. And she said, her spidey sense was all tingling and going off. She didn't even need to be in the room to know that somebody was touching her man. And, she feels emotionally tied to him. Girl, you know what it sounded like. You know what it sounded like.
What does it sound like?
It sounded like they are really tied, emotionally tied. Like he was up in there swimming in that thing. That's what it's giving. But that's she says in that moment, it was a real life situation and not insecurity. Like, bitch, I was about to bust that bitch's ass. Okay, that's what we're not about to do. So Marcus asked her if she feels like she could be with him for a long time. And she's like, yeah, absolutely. That's what I want. Marcus tells her that Randall is like an all around good guy and you don't have nothing to worry about when it comes to him as a man wanting to be with a woman. I don't know why. I would have just appreciated if he would have just, if I was her, I would have appreciated if he would have personalized that, like, being with me.
Right.
I don't know. Whatever. So, Jamala feels like, like she already knew this. She already knew this about her boo. So it's nothing new that he's telling her. So Jamala leaves and Marcus tells Randall that he really likes her. But the other one, he don't really see it. Talking about Kayla. Randall says that his brother really loves Jamala, but he still, likes Kayla also. And they've really grown since the getaway. So he's got to sit down and, process what he's feeling.
Randall meets up with Caleb after saying, after hearing from his brother, he feels, even though he feels he's not right, she's not right for him, he's still confused. He's on the fence. So he's decided to ask Kayla out again to get some clarity. Now, this again looks like some production stuff.
Or it looks like a free meal. That's what I was thinking.
Or a free meal. So she says he's been, he has been doing more since the house. She asks about what his brother thought, and he tries not to say anything. He's just like, oh, it was cool, whatever. And then, but Kayla keeps digging. And so he admits She's
He
like, well,
seemed a little bit aggravated because she kept on digging. Am I okay?
so he admits that his brother wasn't a fan. Now, he felt like she was more about herself than Randall. He says he's entitled to his opinion and asked Randall what he thought. And he says he thought it went okay. I'm like, are y'all lying to yourselves?
I felt like,
Y'all got
am I tripping or so I felt like that wasn't really an answer to the question. Am I tripping?
What do you mean?
So when she said what he thought, like I felt like she was asking what he thought about what the brother said, not about the date, not about the meetup. And he didn't respond. Basically, I felt like she wanted to know if he agreed with the brother or not, versus him saying, "Oh, I thought the meetup went good."
Oh, okay. I didn't get that, but I can see how you could see that.
Actually, I actually put she says he's entitled to his opinion and wants to know what Randall felt about what he said. And he responded by saying that I felt like it went good. He didn't answer the question.
Oh, okay.
And it just rang to me because he was getting her ass about her not answering the questions.
Good point. So she's obviously disappointed to hear the family ain't feeling her. And then she asked what her brother's feedback was on his other connection, which we know was Jamala. And he said it was the complete opposite for Jamala. And Kayla's clearly annoyed. And she's like, oh, because she's the best thing ever.
She's awesome.
Confetti.
Not confetti. No, she's at dinner and she's like, this is stressful as hell. And she says she just wants to know what he wants. Like they're at a crossroad and he has a decision to make. Nigga, it's time to make your decision. And I feel like this actually aggravated him. He's like, I'm not choosing you. Let me tell you something.
He said it like that?
He was aggravated when he said it. I'm not gonna lie. He looked aggravated as fuck when he said it. Like you're forcing me and I'm trying to be nice.
Well, I wouldn't say he's been nice. He's skated around.
I feel like he was protecting her feelings. I think he was protecting her feelings. And the fact that she kept on pushing and pushing and pushing, he seemed like he was a little aggravated. And when he said I'm not choosing you. Literally, I rewinded that part back because I was like, oh, he's aggravated because remember, Jamala was forcing him also. Now you have someone that you're trying to tell that you're not choosing and trying to be nice, and they're pushing you. It's going to make you a little aggravated. So she's like, okay. And she's like, I'm glad you finally let me know. So he says, it's really hard because he really does care about her. And if he didn't, it would be easier. Randall says that the feelings he has for her are real. He says that, he's seen her be intense. And that's what makes it really hard because he knows that she really likes him. He likes that shit. Let me say something. He lying because he's talking about, oh, Jamala has traits that I've seen from my past relationships and I don't like it. Da-da-da. You like that toxic shit, you lying ass. Kayla basically says that she's pissed. This is in a confessional, not to him. Okay, because Kayla, I felt like she kept it super classy. She was just kind of like, okay, but you could see like the switch up on her face. But she says, this could be a blessing in disguise because she still got a connection with Mike. Who know where the fuck that's gonna go? She says that she thinks that, they'll continue to be friends, but he's going to continue to work on his other connection. And she wishes them the fucking best with her sarcastic ass. So then nephew Tommy, he recaps the past 10 weeks and how everyone that's left anyway, went from lust to love. Randall goes to meet Jamala. He says he's been connected to Jamala since day one, and
by the way, Jamala looks fucking amazing. That dress.
She did.
She looked beautiful.
I want to see if you have anything to say about the other one.
Hold on.
Oh, okay. All right.
You forget
So
I'm just now seeing it. It's on my screen now.
I can't stand you. So he says since day one, he's been super invested in her, but he's worried that because, they went through some rough patches, she might say no. Boy, bye. No, you're not. He acting like he's stressed, but she wants you, homie. So Jamala says, she sees Randall on the bridge and, her heart gets to start fluttering. He says that he started with 20 women. Okay, now it's just down to them two. He did have other connections and knows that it hasn't been easy for her, but she's always been his number one. Numero uno.
Number one, number one.
Oh,
Sugar,
you gotta love that album. He also says that they see each other's, low moments and they've always turned it around and just seem to grow closer. And says that with that being said, he chooses her. She like, boo, that's hard as fuck to follow up behind. What is you doing to me? So she tells him that, he brings out feelings in her that she does not like. Girl, I feel you. I don't want to be vulnerable. Like, what the hell? So she also says that, he gives her like the deepest belly laughs. She says that he's opened up to her in ways that she knows that he typically doesn't, because we see that he is shut the fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
But she she appreciates that and she values that. And she chooses him too. And they shared what she called a cosmic kiss.
I choose you. Oh, baby. I choose you. Oh.
So Mike is headed out to the beach and said that he had a tough choice to make between two beautiful Black women, Brandy and Kayla. And he hopes that he made the right decision. He says that his heart and his head are all over the place and he can't turn back now. Then out walks Brandy. Mike says the decision wasn't easy, but Brandy is the most special person to him. I know that's right. Right? Eerie. Mike tells her during the process he had the opportunity to meet 10 ladies, which made more sense actually than what Randall said, because he said 20. I guess it was 20 total, but clearly we ain't all doing our math right. But what drew him to her was her smile and her sense of humor, and how she's a get up and go person and she's very strong-minded. He tells her that she's a beautiful woman, and he's always asked himself, why was she single for so long? But at this point, he has no idea. He don't give a damn.
You came out here in a bathing suit, boo? I'm sorry.
Oh, you see it now. I was waiting for your comment on the fashion choice.
Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a little delayed. And so sorry.
And he says moving forward, his answer lies in this beautiful black box. And when I tell you it was beautiful. It was this big black box that he had a gift for her. So she opens it up and she sees the roses and he tells her to open the drawer. In the drawer are chocolate covered strawberries, and in gold writing it says, "It's a yes." What's his sign again? Do we know?
Oh, right? I don't think we know the sign.
I don't know, but that was some romantic shit. I don't know if production helped. Do you think production be helping with this shit?
I don't know, but it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
It was beautiful. So she tells him it's been a journey.
I wish production would have. I love Brandy. I wish production would have helped her with her dress.
You're the worst. She tells him it's been a journey and it's been hard watching him date other women. But from day one, when she sat on his lap and marked her territory, he showed her things that she had never seen. I don't know why that sounds so freaky as fuck. Feel a little poke coming through. And he gives her that feeling inside her heart, and she's happily elated. And yeah, she chooses him and says that's her bae. Point blank, period.
So y'all, like I said, I was a little delayed. And Chanel said she was done, and I said, "What happened to Kayla? Did nobody give her the memo that Mike did pick her?" And she was like, "Maybe he sent a text. I don't know." So I guess we'll catch up with Kayla at the reunion and figure
And
out
find out how everything went down.
and how she felt and how she got this notice in the mail.
Telegram, birds.
Whatever, but I guess she knew not to waste her time showing up.
I don't think she was invited.
Oh baby, they did her so wrong. I'm like, can y'all
you know who we need to have
for an exit?
You know who we need to have a combo with?
Who?
Mr. Reddy.
Oh. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to another review and the finale of Ready to Love season 6. This is our 3rd season of, well, you know, part, because you know how they be trying to split it up and try to make one season in the same place, one season, but it's not really that. But anyway, so this is like our 3rd time doing Ready to Love. We thank you so much for your support and your love. You guys have been awesome. Cast members, viewers, you guys are all awesome. Drop down in the comments.
Let me tell you something. Seriously, we've been doing this for a year now, and literally we've seen people who've been doing this for way longer than we have and have less subscribers, less likes, less views. So we know the love is real. Right. We've been doing this for a year. Literally like what, couple weeks over a year compared to other people, and we see the love. Literally, we really do love you guys. We appreciate it.
Thank you. We appreciate it. We have an attitude of gratitude. And yes, if you have not already, please make sure that you hit that like button.
You comment.
You subscribe.
And you hit the notification bell.
And y'all, come check us out next week because we're going to be in it for the reunion.
Absolutely.
And we will catch y'all next week for the reunion. Have a good night.
Mwah. Good night.